Hi, I'm Chick Henry, proud recipient of the Rare Spares Legend Award. You know, I've built quite a few cars over the years, and I know what it takes to build a full restoration or build an award-winning show car that's more like a piece of automotive art. And you know what? I wish I'd had access to professional advice and instruction on how to fit some of the parts I needed. But now, through the Rare Spares Shed Talk series, we're proud to bring you the latest information on products and the best installation techniques for you. So keep an eye on the Rare Spares website, and on behalf of Rare Spares, we're so proud to be able to bring you the Shed Talk series to help you build a fantastic car and enjoy your motoring passion.
Shed Talk, brought to you by Rare Spares.
Welcome to Shed Talk, brought to you by Rare Spares. In today's edition, we're going to take you through the steps of putting Bailey channel and door belts in an FB EK Holden. A couple of points to remember: you do have to remove all the screws in the frame that holds the quarter vent in place, as well as the adjuster inside the door. You do need to be careful because most times they are rusted unless you've had the door stripped out to be painted. Okay, once you remove the door belts from the door, you do need to make sure that all the clips have been removed from the door. Most times they stay with the door belt, and just slightly dragging your finger on the inside is the best to make sure there's nothing there. If it's a replacement for door belts, the ideal time to clean any dirt and rubbish from the door edge before you put new ones in place. Before you remove the quarter vent from the door, you do have to make sure the Bailey channel has been removed as well. And if it's old original, you can push it around and it'll fall out. But you just need to be careful and take your time, because normally it's fairly rusty. So once you've done that, you do need to make sure that all the clips have been removed from the door itself. Now this one tells me there's a clip up in the middle, it's missing. And locate, you can't install new Bailey channel unless you remove the clips, otherwise it'll destroy it. So by doing that, you have a flat screwdriver. It's a matter of knocking it out, and you can see the clip coming away from the door. So you do have to make sure these are removed from the door, across the top and down the back. Okay, once you've removed all the Bailey channel and made sure all the clips are out, it's time to remove the quarter vent from the door. This one's going to give us a little bit of trouble because the frame's bent or rusted and it won't go completely closed into the frame. So when you do it, it's as simple as make sure you keep the drain plate. So that's it, it's out. And make sure you clean all the rubbish out of the door as well, if it's a replacement. Now it's time to fit the vertical pillar channel and put it back in place and fit the Bailey channel. Alright, once you've removed it, you need a bench to place the quarter vent on and drill out the tags that hold the Bailey channel pillar in place. So by using roughly 3mm or 8th drill, So once you've done that, you can flip the quarter vent over, grab the edge of the back end of it, and most times it pulls out quite easily. It's usually the very top though. There's a metal tag on this end as well. So before you think about putting the pillar channel back in place, the new one, just make sure that what you've drilled out internally is level and flat for the pillar channel. Because if the tag is still in place, you need to knock it down or drill it out more, because you can't put your brand new pillar section in position unless it's completely flat. So then it's time to use the old one as your reference. The very end of this has been tapered. So using a texter, I'm going to mark the pillar channel in position so I can cut it out. So once you've done that, using a quality set of side cutters, you basically cut it out as if it was factory. So that is similar to what you took out. Then it's time to put that back in your quarter vent assembly. So the cutout, and at worst you can tap it up slightly, so it's got to be level with the top of the quarter vent here on the edge. Then I normally put 1 or 2 rivets in place, normally here and here. Pop rivet coming back in from here, so you can actually drill out the holes into the new pillar channel. Just make sure the hole is completely clear. Go to the second one. So making sure the rivet is certainly pulled up on the inside of the vertical pillar. It's sitting flat in the channel, which is what you want. All right, we've got it back together. The vertical pillar Bailey channel's back in place. It's time to put the quarter vent back in the door. If your door has been repainted, you need to cover the base of the door so you don't have any paint chips if this thing drops into place like they do sometimes. So again, don't be in a hurry getting things in place. And just take your time. Just making sure you've got all your screws within easy arm's reach will make it so much easier to put everything back in position. Okay, you've got the quarter vent back in place, all the screws are in position. It's time to cut your Bailey channel. Now normally with these doors, you can mark it roughly, just as a measurement, the length of the window, and give yourself about half a finger's width more, and that's where you're going to cut this, because you're better off to cut this long. You can trim it back. So there's enough length left on it to go vertical. Okay, once that's cut, you put the vertical part in first. being rubber backed, it'll grip quite well. Same thing again, if your door has been repainted, squeeze the Bailey channel past the door before you push into it. You don't want your car scratched. So getting the top corner in place first by putting pressure going up and then follow it all the way down. So now across the top of the door, I just make sure that the end is exactly square, and you can bow it slightly to allow the corner to push itself into it. Then you push the centre up. Okay, once that's in place and you're happy with the way it's sitting, it's time to put the door belts in. Normally, you close the door and start with the inner. Now, FBs and EKs have got a small difference in their door belts. They are marked. The one with the kink in the end of it is the one to the inside, so that's the one we're putting in first. The outside is straight, there's no deviation in the actual door belt. And by doing this, it's a matter of holding the quarter vent back against the outside of the door to give you the gap to push into it so it goes back into place. It's a tight squeeze, well, sort of. And to locate the first clip hole is the thing you must do. And by having this device, they've bent a screwdriver just as a right angle edge, so you don't have a choice, you don't have a chance of actually scratching the door belt, scratching the paint by this slipping. So take your time. You can do a normal flat screwdriver if need be, but it's better off if you do it this way. They're not hard to put in place, they just clip into without too much pressure. Then to see what you're doing, open the door again and start from the front of the door again by locating the first clip. It's a bit of pressure to get this thing to sit in place between the two now. Just fiddly. And by twisting the door belt slightly to get the clip in place, then you can locate it. So when you look at it, you can see the door belt is fairly close to both sides of the door panel. So now we can put the glass into the sliders, put the regulator back in place. Okay, once you get the glass into position and the regulators in, between the two door belts there's a fair bit of pressure. It takes probably a week or so to back off. Then you can adjust the pillar upright to make sure the tracking of the glass is done. So once it's in place and it's good to go, another quality part by Rare Spares.
On behalf of Rare Spares, I hope we will be of value to you and your car building passion.
Shit Talk, brought to you by Rare Space.